Ladies and gentlemen, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Something very strange is happening within Call of Duty right now. There is a secret update of some kind taking place in the background, and it's probably only a matter of time until we truly figure out what it is, but there's a few different things that have surfaced over the past few days, officially from Call of Duty, then also as some secret behind the scenes things that have actually been data mined since the Season 4 Reloaded update dropped, that just line up really conveniently for a handful of reasons. So the first thing we got to break down is this really bizarre tweet from Call of Duty Updates that went live just before Season 4 Reloaded dropped, in which they said, we've got a global update coming out for Call of Duty. Maintenance is scheduled for July 2nd in the middle of the night between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. Pacific for the below titles. Players will be unable to log into these Call of Duty titles during this window. So we usually see maintenance updates like this happen a lot. You'll open Battle.net, for instance, and there's always that little flare that says, hey, there's maintenance happening today at 2 p.m. Pacific, or there's maintenance happening at 12 a.m. Pacific, whatever. It's not really anything that largely impacts the game, and nothing really ever feels different when this stuff happens. But the list of titles here is what is really bizarre, because when you see maintenance updates, it's for what's going on in the here and now. It's for the current titles, it's for the current stuff being updated. But the titles that had maintenance updates include Modern Warfare 3 and Modern Warfare 2. We're going to table those two names. Of course, they're the most recent CODs, basically, but it's also tying into our other conversation really oddly. But then we also have World War 2, which was just added to Game Pass, Black Ops 3, Advanced Warfare, Ghosts, Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 3, the OG, Black Ops, and Modern Warfare 2, the OG. Why exactly are all of these old titles at the same time, no less, suddenly getting a whole bunch of updates? Well, the replies to this tweet all kind of, give some details here. Everyone's kind of saying the same thing. Why? Is it finally time? Game Pass. That seems to be the thing here. Could we be prepping right now for a significant Call of Duty Game Pass update? Although it is a little strange that World War II also saw the same maintenance update after it just dropped on Game Pass, but something really strange is happening here. This is definitely not just some random maintenance happening to all of these titles, decade-old titles, right? We've heard Call of Duty coming to Game Pass for some time here, but it's never really come to fruition. We saw some of the current titles drop. We saw World War II drop. We've been sitting here waiting, knowing that they've been updating the different files on PC, even for like Microsoft Store for these titles, saying it's bound to happen eventually, right? It seems like we now could be closer than ever. Some of the other replies here, MW2 and MW2 getting an update on the same day is wild. We're back, eyes emoji. This is every COD since OG MW2 except for Infinite Warfare, BO4, MW 2019, Cold War, and Vanguard. If these all get added to Game Pass, and, it would be a dream come true for the next 10 weeks. We got one of these CODs to come to Game Pass per day. This seems to be where everyone is leaning. That's gotta be why this is happening, right? Now, the randomness of these titles not having Cold War, MW 2019, etc. is really weird, but something is happening here that we're gonna have to keep an eye on. Obviously, as we see any new updates come out from this, any information potentially leak out regarding what this could be in reference to, you guys know I'm gonna keep you up to date with all things going on in COD, so feel free to hit that subscribe button. And of course, if you enjoy the videos, we go through some other very curious leaks that have surfaced. A like rating is always seriously appreciated as well. So beyond that weird COD updates tweet, we just got a major post from Reality UK, known leaker and data miner in the community, regarding something that, funny enough, I just talked about a few days back with the Call of Duty HQ. We know the COD HQ in theory was awesome. Every COD game being launchable from one hub, it's super easy to transition between them, and the execution is anything but. The COD HQ is a mess. You have to boot one game and then close that game to launch another game, and if it crashes, you have to reboot the old game to then hope you can launch the other game, and it's just a mess. It causes the game to leak itself constantly with major updates from current games being in reference to future games. Like the COD HQ has just backfired tremendously. Like I said, I covered this in a whole video not that many days ago, and here's what Reality posts as a new thing found in the game files post Season 4 Reloaded. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 and Modern Warfare 2, our two most recent CODs before BO6, are now available outside of the main Call of Duty install. You're currently playing those titles, re-download it to access them directly going forward. This seems to indicate that they might be doing away or at least adjusting or overhauling the Call of Duty HQ in some capacity. If they're going directly into games that are now currently a big part of the HQ with MW2 and MW3 and trying to make them standalone titles and not tethered to the actual HQ itself. That would be a pretty significant thing. Now, do I know if this update where you actually remove these from the HQ would work and it wouldn't break a ton of things? You know, time will tell. I would not be surprised if removing MW3 caused a whole lot of MW3 assets to then have problems in game, just because it seems like that's how the COD HQ goes. But this is a really, really interesting update in the files now. Obviously, as it stands, it doesn't seem to be fully in effect according to reality, but in the coming days and weeks, maybe we see some other large updates go out, maintenance updates, because these were both titles referenced there, and something changes with the COD HQ, hopefully for the better. Then another interesting update found in the game files. Reality says there's not much to it, but a table called Handheld has been added to the LUAs in the Season 4 Reloaded update, indicating that Call of Duty is preparing for official handheld support. Now, he follows it up and says, I'm betting on this being related to the Ally, the new Xbox thing going on there, and not the Switch 2. However, we do know that Microsoft and Nintendo do have a contract, and Microsoft fully intends on bringing Call of Duty to the Nintendo Switch 2 at some point in the future. They did reiterate this and confirm this when Black Ops 7 was revealed, that they're working hard to get Call of Duty on the Switch 2. They also announced though that the ROG Ally, or whatever it's called with Xbox, is going to support this as well with like Xbox Anywhere or whatever it's called, right? So Call of Duty as a part of a handheld application on that seemingly is on the horizon as well, probably closer than the Switch update considering it's already in the files here, but one step leads to the next. If it's available on handheld there, it's going to probably sooner rather than later also expand to the Switch 2. Then we're in a situation where it's the most available Call of Duty to date, where it's on PC, on all console generations basically, PS4, Xbox One, current gen as well, then handheld, and then eventually the Switch as well. Really curious how all of this would support crossplay. Would it be handhelds only, so like the Ally and then the Switch could crossplay, but nothing with the Switch versus PC? Like, that'd be a huge imbalance, but at the same time, you already have PC versus like PS4, and that's a pretty large imbalance too. But it does seem more and more is being updated here in regards to Call of Duty on handheld devices or mobile devices beyond the direct Call of Duty mobile experience. With that being said, we've got some strange things going on in COD. It's been a bizarre few days with some of the news that has surfaced. Also, in addition to some of the standard stuff that just happened, like things we expect with the Reloaded updates and the main updates with different leaks and rumors, these ones very different from what we're used to seeing, both from leakers and from Call of Duty themselves. So we'll have to keep an eye on the situation. I imagine we're going to learn a lot more about all of this stuff in the coming days and weeks. So you're not going to want to miss anything. To stay up to date with all things going on in COD, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. And if you enjoyed this video, a like rating on your way out would be really appreciated. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.